At some point, you have to come to the realization that something has got to change. And you have to be honest that what you're doing isn't working. I remember it was a day in May, and Toby and I were having a conversation about finances and the finances of my business and how they weren't up to par. And I can admit that this was probably a fairly heated conversation. There's a lot of emotion around this discussion. And at some point, I just stopped talking because I didn't have answers to the questions that he was asking. And so he stood up with that look of just sheer frustration because I wasn't giving any answers. And I just remember sitting there Indian style on the sofa just thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I fought so hard to hold back the tears. I didn't want to cry, but what else could I say? And we just had this conversation around moving forward in my business. And I had to have a hard conversation with myself. I was doing a lot of things. It wasn't like I was being lazy. I was out speaking. I'd written a book. I was networking. I was meeting people. I was traveling. And yet, the revenue just wasn't there. So I had to have that conversation with the woman in the mirror that something has to change. You can't keep doing what it is that you're doing if you plan to see a different result. And I had to admit to myself that I'd been avoiding sales. I never saw myself as a salesperson. I didn't start my business to become a salesperson. I started my business because I had a passion to help women. And I had a passion around leadership. And anytime I thought about sales, I always thought about becoming the sleazy sales girl, which clearly was not me. But here's what I learned. That if I was truly going to have an impact on all the women that I desired to impact, one thing that I had to do was I had to learn how to sell. And I had to understand that selling equals service. It wasn't a dirty word. It was exactly what I needed to do in order to be able to make the impact that I wanted to make.